Hello, friends. This is Tony. Um, I just wanted to give you guys an update on my my surgery and what I'm doing so far. I apologize for my throat. I think they stick a tube inside to keep your uh, uh, airway open, and I feel like I have like scratchiness on the inside of the throat, so I might have to be clearing my throat every so often. But yes, so I just wanted to share. It's been 4 days since I got out of surgery. So today is November 3rd, 2019. I went into surgery October 30th. Um, so it's been 4 days and it's been good so far. But I just wanted to share a little bit more. So on Wednesday, my wife and I got to the hospital around 9 a.m. That was the scheduled time, and then at 9 a.m. they start the process of getting you ready for surgery. So um, we got there, we got registered, and then we got called by the surgeon's assistant. They took us into a room. They made me take off all my clothes, um, and they gave me like a cap and gown. But before I put the cap and gown, I had to like wipe myself down with antibiotic uh, or antiseptic. I'm not sure the word, but I wiped myself down, especially around the belly area and the chest and the legs, everywhere. And after that, um, I put on a gown and and a cap, and this is me getting ready for the surgery. Yeah. So um, my weight on surgery date is 424 pounds. I made it a point to go weigh in before surgery. That way I know what my starting point is. So 424 pounds. This is me. So once they prepared me, uh, I'm going to be scrolling a little bit to show you more pictures. Um, they they hooked up an IV, of course. You can see on my hand. They always have difficulty finding my veins on my arm, so it always ends up being on my hand, which makes it uncomfortable because you can't freely move your hands. But anyway, um, and then this was the anesthesiologist. You know, here they are. He's kind of giving me instructions on what's going to go on. And yeah, so sorry it's blurry. I'm not really good at editing or adding pictures. I'm still learning this kind of stuff. Uh, so anyway, once the anesthesiologist came and he already gave me medicine on my IV, then everything kind of started going blurry. So by the time I got out of the getting prepared, getting cleaned, getting the IV hooked up, the anesthesiologist, everything, it was about 11:30 at that time. And then from there, I just remember, I said, uh, I I told my wife, "See you in a little bit," and they wheeled me into the operating room, and it was starting to get blurry already. When I got to the operating room, I just saw like a lot of instruments, a lot of lights above on the ceiling, monitors, and there was like 6 people in the room, I think. And then that was the last glimpse I've got. After that, I don't remember anything. And I think it was like 3 hours later that I was, coming back into, from the anesthesia. There was a nurse next to me, and she would kind of tap me and ask me to take deep breaths. And so I would take deep breaths, and then she would just kind of keep asking me questions just to kind of get me to wake up. Um, so that I do remember. And then once I did enough for her, or she felt I was enough woken up, they wheeled me to my room, and my wife was there, and I think another auntie was there, and that's when I found out something interesting happened to me. Originally, I was going for the gastric bypass surgery, which is the one where they make a small pouch, and then they reroute the intestine, and then your stomach still stays in there, but it's kind of like sealed and off to the side. So that was the original one because of my weight, I qualified for the more extreme surgery. But when I woke up, my wife informed me that because of the fatty tissue on the inside of my belly, they were not able to do that surgery safely. So they decided to do the sleeve instead. I was grateful that they did something, at least that they went with the sleeve. I know it's a long term. I think it's a safer surgery to have. They don't reroute the intestine. They do cut off, I think, 75% or 80% of your stomach, and then they remove it. They stitch it up, and they actually pull it out of your body. So, what used to be able to hold, I think, like 1 to 1.5 liters. Now my stomach is like the size of a small banana or an egg. Like it's very small now. So the surgeon opted to do that on me, which I am grateful. I have faith in God, and I feel that maybe that was the right surgery for me, and it was God's will. So anyway, I kind of detached from that and just focused on healing. Um, the difference in weight loss is not that much difference, I think, from the sleeve to the gastric bypass. Um, but I think you have to do a little more on your part to make sure that your diet is really good, because I think you'll start to feel hunger sooner than you would with the gastric bypass or something to that effect. I'm not 100% on that. I still got some questions of my own. But anyway, I was at the hospital. So Wednesday, I was in bed most of the time. I still felt the anesthesia. I was really kind of groggy. And maybe I can show a quick picture of when I came out of surgery. Let me see. It's like a video. So see, I'm still kind of out of it. Yeah, like I can barely open my eyes, and my wife is kind of asking me to say hi to the family so we can share an update. But yeah. Anyway, so that's me after the surgery on the same date. And then so the first date, I didn't really feel too much of the pain. I was kind of just relaxed and groggy from the anesthesia. Uh, and I had a great nurses and aides that were really wonderful. They came and took good care of us. My wife was able to sleep in the room, so she was there. Whenever I needed assistance, they always came and encouraged us to ask for help, so that I wouldn't fall by accident or anyway, things like that. And So yeah, thank you to the Kaiser Moanalua staff, nurses, surgeon, and all the aides there. It was really, they were really awesome. Um, so on the next day, so that was Wednesday. Thursday, um, I was kind of anxious to eat something, but they told me that before they give me any meal, uh, they have to do like a test, right? They have to do like, I think it's like a leak test. So what it is they give you this dye to drink, and the flavor is like really horrible. So I haven't eaten anything from Wednesday at midnight because they don't want you to drink or eat anything right for surgery. So from Wednesday midnight all the way till Thursday, I haven't tasted water or anything. So I'm kind of anxious to drink something because my mouth is really dry from the mask and everything. And they said you have to do this leak test first. So I they wheel me like around 8:30 a.m. They take me to do this test, and they give you this like small cup of this dye, and so they tell you to kind of swallow it, and you swallow it, and as you're standing, they have the X-ray machine in front of you, and as they tell you to swallow it, they snap the picture, so it kind of makes it shows the esophagus and the stomach and everything, and then it shows if there's a leak or anything like that. So anyway, so I did that test, and then it took like another, I think, 2 hours after they did that test. So this whole time I have like this nasty flavor in my mouth. I can't even describe it. Uh, I I wouldn't even know how to call it, but it just leaves this nasty aftertaste in your mouth, and like you can't wait to get rid of it, but you can't drink anything yet. You can't, I tried like rinsing my mouth, but I could still feel it like in the back of my throat. So yeah, that was nasty. But anyway, so after like 2 hours, they came back, and then the nurse told us, oh, you've been cleared. You can have a meal now. So of course, I'm feeling a little excited. One, because I'm gonna get rid of this nasty flavor in my mouth, but also like I was thirsty. I was thirsty, even though I had IV on me and everything. Like I needed something to go down my throat, and to have like some kind of flavor in my mouth other than that nastiness. So, they gave us a list of the things I could order, and of course, I'm still thinking like I can eat like a normal person, I guess, or my old way, not a normal person. So I ordered like a chamomile tea. I ordered chicken broth. I ordered sugar-free Jello. What else did I order? Oh, a chocolate pudding. So I order all these things, right? And then I'm kind of getting excited, like, oh, the food is gonna come, and I'm gonna get to eat. And then the food comes, right? And so I take like, this is like 1 ounce of, a 1 ounce cup, right? It's really small. So I take like this much, and then I'm full. Like I'm so full. So I drank I think it was the tea first. I figured, tea would be the first thing to land in my stomach, would be a healthy thing. So I drank the tea first, and then that was it. I was like full. I tried to drink a little more, but then I got like cramps in my stomach. Like I would hear and feel like movement in there. So I was like, okay, I guess that's it. I ordered all these things, but that 1 ounce cup that was it. That's all I could eat. And, part of me was kind of bummed, honestly. Like I really wanted to like, enjoy like the Jello or the soup or the pudding, but the 1 ounce was enough. So, yeah, so I had my meal, and then I kind of started feeling I can actually feel it go down my throat as it's going down, like my esophagus, and then I can actually feel it like land in my stomach. It's a weird feeling. I can like follow it all the way down, and then I feel it land in my stomach. And I've never felt that before, so that was kind of interesting. Um, what else? Oh, pain. On the second day, the anesthesia was wearing out, so I was beginning to feel more of the pain. And they made six holes across here. I think. Let me see if my wife might have taken a picture of it. I can probably show you what it looks like. Sorry. Oh, here we go. So they made six holes. I hope you can see it. Like I'm kind of lifting up my shirt, and then, see that? Sorry, it's blurry. Like I said, I'm not really too good at this, but so they're like about 1 inch, and then some of them are like half inch. But it's a total of six little cuts that they made, and that's what it looks like. So, yep. Um, anyway, so I'm beginning to feel the pain a little more, and it feels uncomfortable. It feels like if you ever worked out, like when you work on your abs a lot, um, you feel kind of that cramping, like when you try to sit up, like your muscle just tightens up. That's kind of what I was feeling. So like if I would move slightly, I would feel like my muscles would like cramp up, and then that was kind of painful. But they did give me medication. I'm not really a big fan of taking pain medicine. You know, I had a really good friend tell me once before, like sometimes it's better to feel it. That way you're more careful, because sometimes if you don't feel anything, you might hurt yourself more. So I've kind of always kept that in my mind, and I try to do without it as much as possible. But the nurse keeps insisting, and you start feeling the tightness. So I kind of gave in, and after that, it was way more comfortable. So you know, I would suggest take it, especially the first few days. Um, anyway, I feel like I'm rambling, but I hope I'm getting all my points across on the pain level. Oh, and then so they want you to walk as soon as possible, because they pump you up with that gas, as you guys probably have done, your research. They pump you up with CO2 so they can maneuver all the instruments inside of you. And the best way to get rid of that is by kind of walking. When you walk, it causes all the CO2 to move around in your body. Some of it gets absorbed, and then some of it, comes up through the front or through the back. But so anyway, so I was really good at that. The first day, I think I walked that evening. So Wednesday evening, I already walked, and then they kind of want you to do 3 laps is the goal around that floor or that wing that we were in. So I did 3 laps, and then at midnight, the cramping in my stomach was kind of sore. So I figured, oh, maybe walking will make it faster. So at midnight again, I did it again, another 3 laps, and yeah, so the walking definitely helps. It just makes you feel better. The blood is pumping and everything. Um, so the surgeon came. I think it was Wednesday. No, he came on Tuesday evening, and then he let me know about the situation that he had to do the sleeve instead of the gastric bypass. And I told him, it was fine. He did give me the option that if my weight plateaus where I'm not really happy with it, that he's willing, by then I would have lost weight, a lot more weight, and then he's willing to do the gastric bypass at a later time if I still want it. So that's still an option, but I hope, I can really work hard and make this work for me, the sleeve. So he was happy with everything. He was concerned though, because the only complication I did have was that my blood pressure was unusually high. My blood pressure is always normal, even though I'm an overweight guy. My blood pressure has always been normal. But for some reason, after surgery, I was like at 174 over 100, or it was pretty high. And my thought is it was probably the CO2 kind of causing pressure on my heart. That's kind of my theory. I didn't really ask, but that's my theory, because I noticed as the gas kind of moved out, like my blood pressure would begin to drop. And they didn't give me any blood pressure medicine. They said they would just observe it. So anyway, Friday morning, the surgeon comes in again, checks everything, talks to me, asks me, have I been doing the walking? Have I, had bowel movement? Did I empty my bladder a few times? He just wanted to make sure that everything was normal. Was my pain at a tolerable level? And I told him, yes, everything is going fine. And, even the nurses commented that, out of a lot of the men that do this surgery, I was probably the least fussy one. And I give credit to all the prayers that, all the people have been, doing for me and my wife. And the prayers, I think, has really benefited me so much, because I was honestly a little scared, kind of thinking, I'm going to be in so much pain. I'm not going to be able to tolerate this or that. And like I said, I got my surgery on Wednesday last week. So today is Sunday. It's 4 days later. And, I'm able to have a conversation and share with you guys a little more. So anyway, we get released on Friday, and we continue what the doctor tells us. And I'm going to share a little bit of what I'm eating now and kind of my feeling and everything. So here, I'll share it. So they send me home with this contraption. And, the idea is that you suck the air, and then when you suck the air, it causes this to go up. And that's so that your diaphragm kind of expands. And it's like this exercise actually helps you so that you don't get pneumonia or, any of that kind of sickness. So, I still have to do this. And then, so my wife has been excellent at helping me stay on task, because, I'm not really hungry. So if I get distracted, or if I fall asleep or something like that, I'll forget to eat. Like right now, I should be actually sipping on something. But so she came up with a plan, and I'll share kind of what we do to make sure I stay on task. So this is what I'm eating. So every 15 minutes, it's recommended that I have 1 ounce of liquid. I'm on the liquid diet, phase 1. And so 1 ounce of liquid every 15 minutes. I've noticed if I drink it a little too fast, let's say in 10 minutes, I'll get cramping in the stomach. So I have to really take it slow, just take a little sip, and then, kind of drink the 1 ounce in a 15-minute period, so it doesn't hurt. So this is one of the things I'm drinking. I don't know, this thing is showing backwards, but it's a Premier Protein, 30 grams, because I'm actually supposed to have 30 grams of protein a day and then 64 ounces of liquids. So this is what I do. And then this is another thing that we're having, chicken broth, organic, reduced sodium, all the stuff. We really looked for the best, that we could get. So this one was something good. And then of course you got your, sugar-free Jello, right? And then, Gatorade Zero, right? So yeah, so this is kind of my routine. And what we do is my wife kind of lines up these little cups for me. So see, for example, this is Gatorade, right? And then water, and then like the shake, like that. So we'll line up like the 4 little 1-ounce cups, and then I just sip on it. See, that was the soup. So I finished the soup one, and then I kind of feel my stomach, how it's doing, and then if everything is good, then I start taking sips on the next one, which I should probably do. See, that's like the amount of sip I have to take. Yep. So that's kind of our theory, and then my wife keeps track. I have an amazing wife. She really helps me with all of that. And then, of course, this is probably not enough nutrients, so I have to take a chewable multivitamin. So I take like 2 of these a day. But what I do is I actually kind of break it in half, and then I kind of chew and grind the half of the chewable so that it's really almost like powder, and then I swallow it. But yeah, so that's what I'm eating right now. So in order to make my 64 ounce and my 30 grams of protein, I need to stay up like 16 hours and then drink an ounce of fluid every 15 minutes. So it does get kind of, it's like a task you have to do. And like I said, if it wasn't for my wife, I would probably be forgetting to drink, because you don't really feel the urge to do it, but you have to do it. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of following that process. The pain is going away. They did give me pain medication. It's pretty strong. It's like oxycodone, 5 milligrams. And that's all I'm supposed to take, like 5 milligrams, only in case of pain. And it's still almost full. I have, like I said, I don't like to take too many of that. So, and only when I really need it, then I'll take some. But, another thing is I have to do this and really focus on my health. And I'm also kind of looking at this time as a pause, really reflecting on a lot of my life choices and how I kind of neglected my health for so many years. I would diet, I would do exercise, I would do all of that, but it was never like 100% priority, and of course by the weight you could tell. So right now, this time I'm really focusing on like getting to know my body again. Like I said, like actually feeling, am I hungry? Am I full? Am I getting proper nutrition? Am I hydrated enough? And I'm looking at a lot of different videos, to try to see what other successful people did, so that I can be successful at this too. Because I feel like I got a second opportunity, by actually doing this, because this is a very drastic, like a very drastic thing to do, after you have tried so many different diets and failed, and the weight just keeps coming on as the years go on. So I needed to do something drastic. It's like, enough. So this is kind of a pause for me, and then really, look at my life's decisions, and like I said, regarding my health, and really focus. And so sorry this video is like very long. It's like half hour, but I hope it helps. Um, and I just wanted to inform a lot of my friends that have been praying for me, family, and things like that. So more than anything, that's what this video is for. Uh, but yeah, if you have any questions or comments, I, maybe this is the best way to do it because uh, I can get to a lot of you quicker because I'm probably going to be homebound for a few weeks. So that way you kind of know what's going on with me. And mostly, yes, to just thank all of you for your prayers and for having me in your thoughts. And it's done wonders for me. And yeah, thank you so much. Love you all. And good night.